Hey guys, I am the Record Keeper. I've been in the VC for a couple of years now, and I figured might as well take a crack at doing the vinyl tag. This is my first video, so hope it's okay. Please bear with me. Um, but here's my attempt at the vinyl tag for 2025. So the first question, best purchase of 2024. Um, Normally, I would probably say was the first pressing of Maggot Brain that I bought at a record show recently, but I actually just traded it away. So instead, I'll say Kim Deal's new record, "Nobody Loves You More." Kim Deal from the Pixies. Um, she's been around forever. This is actually her first solo record, and it's just fantastic. It's a little jazzy. It rocks. I just can't stop listening to it. You know, um, I highly recommend it. So 50 years later, best album from 1974. I'm a huge fan of Neil Young, so I absolutely have to go with "On the Beach." Um, it's definitely one of his more depressing records, but it's beautiful, and I just what else could beat it that year? Um, an album that defines a genre. I got to go with Wire's "Pink Flag." Um, that record was released in 1977, and in 1977, that record was punk, post-punk, art punk, and the basis for a bunch of other genres, including new wave and a lot of other stuff that came out of the 80s. Um, a lot of short songs, but every song just rocks, and um, I mean, it's just an iconic record that is still relevant today. If you listen to it, it sounds like it was made yesterday. So, best band from your home country. Well, I'm from the city of Chicago, so many people consider that its own country. So I will pick a band from Chicago, and what other band can I pick other than the Smashing Pumpkins? So, um, I'm a child of the 90s, or I was a teenager in the 90s. So I got to see the Smashing Pumpkins at the Metro. They were definitely a band that influenced my musical tastes growing up. And I'd have to say my favorite Smashing Pumpkins record is Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Um, just a great band and a great album. So let's see, an artist you miss dearly. I mean, you could probably see it in the background there, but I'm going to go with Kurt Cobain. Again, like I said, I grew up in the 90s. Nirvana, just changed, the music industry, changed, what people were listening to. Um, you know, recently, the surviving members of Nirvana just got together, played a charity show for the fire victims in LA, and it just made me think, wow, what would things be like today if Kurt Cobain was still alive? If that band was still together, what kind of music would they could they still be putting out? It's a shame he died so young, and just a lot of untapped potential. Best live album in your collection. I'm going to have to go with Live at Leeds. My favorite band of all time is The Who, and I think that record just captures their just raw power. Um, it's everything from Roger Daltrey's awesome vocals, Pete Townshend's phenomenal guitar, and Keith Moon's wild drumming, and tying it all together is John Entwistle. Just a fantastic band. Like I said, personally, I consider them the greatest of all time. So, Live at Leeds, I'm going to say, is probably the greatest live album. So, all right. Your partner just dumped you. What's an album you're putting on? I'm going to have to go with Tom Petty's Wildflowers. It's definitely has its ups and downs. The song Wildflowers, that's a nice song to wish your ex farewell. And, there's some other songs you can have some fun with, especially, Honeybee, when you find your next girlfriend. So that would be my pick. Best sounding drums on an album. Again, I have to go back to The Who, and I'm going to go with Keith Moon. And in particular, I'm going to pick Quadrophenia. It's my favorite Who record. It's I consider it a masterpiece. It's a record I definitely related to in my teenage years, in my early 20s, when I was trying to figure things out. So, but the drumming, it's a big production. There's a lot going on, and definitely, at the core of it is the drumming by Keith Moon. My favorite pressing of that, I have the Classic Records version. I obviously also have a original, U.S. original. I have the new Half Speed Master, and I personally feel like the Half Speed Master really emphasizes the Keith Moon's drums. So if you really want to experience Keith Moon, that's probably the version I would listen to. Otherwise, overall, I like the Classic Records. All right. Favorite artist who is a member of two or more bands. As you can probably see, I have a bunch of Pearl Jam posters on my walls. I love Stone Gossard from Pearl Jam. He was in Brad, which is a great band, and Interiors is my favorite Brad album. He was in Mother Love Bone, Temple of the Dog. Pretty good resume, I would say. So, Beatles or Stones? My father-in-law grew up in New York City in the 60s and 70s. And, he used to tell me, back then, you were either a Beatles or a Stones fan. And, he got into some trouble here and there, and along with the other Stones fans back then. So, I do love the Beatles. I came to appreciate them later in life. But I've always been a Stones fan, so I'm gonna have to go with the Stones. They're a little bit grittier. Let me put it this way: the Beatles, if I want to, sit down, listen to my system, and hear some fantastic music, I'm probably gonna put on the Beatles. But if I'm out and about and in my car and want to rock out, which I probably have to do more than than sitting down and listening to my system, I'm going to pick the Stones. So definitely going to go with the Stones. If you found a bag of weed, what are you going to listen to? I think I'm going to listen to Santana's Abraxas. And I do have a first pressing. I also have the latest MoFi pressing, the 33 RPM, which I do think is fantastic. The first time I listened to that, I had one of those goosebump moments, and I think that would definitely be even more enjoyable with a bag of weed. An album from the 1980s you still listen to. So I was born in 1980. This record came out in 1980. It came out 8 days before my birthday. So I'm going to have to go with The Cure, Boys Don't Cry. The Cure was another band. Actually, that was the first concert I ever went to. I saw them for the first time on the Wish tour. I have an older sister, and she took me to the show. And I'm very grateful to have a cool older sister who, took me to such a great first show. That record's amazing. It's punk, your post-punk. It's definitely one of their grittier albums. I have a original first pressing, a U.S. first pressing, and when I listen to it, I'm always blown away at just how great that record sounds. Definitely lots of low end. The drums kick ass on that. It's just a great record. All right. An artist whose political stance has soured you. I'm going to say no one's, because you know what? I'm a pretty liberal guy myself. I think I can also separate an artist from their art. I think people can believe, whatever they want. I think the world would be a better place if we could all just subscribe to the idea of you do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't personally affect me. So, all right. So, show a favorite record label. Well, like I said, my favorite band of all time is The Who. And, when I first started collecting records, they were one of the first bands that, I started collecting. And I collected, I still have all of it, but I collected everything from their albums to their 45s. And there's nothing quite like when I was hunting, seeing that beautiful Decca rainbow label, flipping through bins and seeing that label, my heart would jump and, think, oh man, is this another Who record? But yeah, it's a pretty label. So let's see, a run of 3 great singles. Again, I'm going to go with The Cure, and from Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, we have Why Can't I Be You, Just Like Heaven, and Hot, Hot, Hot. I don't know what, I don't know what other band in the 80s just was so consistent, they're still relevant today. They just put out a new record last year. Robert Smith, still has his vocals, and that's a great record. A record store purchase that you actually consistently listen to. I'm going to have to say Give Way by Pearl Jam. It's a great live record. Yield is probably my favorite Pearl Jam album. So to have that particular show from Australia is fantastic. It sounds great. I love it. Let's see. You could be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? I thought about this for a little while. Obviously, your first thought is you want to go to your favorite band, right? So I'm going to go to the Who. I don't want to be Keith Moon because actually, want to have a full life. John Entwistle, he definitely lived a full life, but he died in a hotel room like he lived with hookers and blows. And I don't know if I want to do that. Then there's Pete Townsend. And Pete Townsend, a fantastic artist, great guitar player. He's probably a little bit too complicated for me. So I think I'm going to go with Roger Daltrey. Think about it. You get to, you meet all the rock icons from the 60s, the 70s, all the way up until today. But you're always in good health. You don't have a drug problem. You don't have an alcohol problem. And you always have a fantastic set of abs. So, and a kick-ass voice. So Roger Daltrey is going to be my pick. All right, let's see. Best 3 lines in a song. Man. So, last year I lost one of my good friends to addiction. So, it really hit me hard. One of the records that got me through it was Neil Young's Harvest. And in particular, I've seen The Needle and the Damage Done. It's a little part of it in everyone, but every junkie is like the setting sun. I mean, what words better describe addiction, man? It's a sad but beautiful line. So, all right. An album you never tire of. This was probably the first record that popped in my head. And that's Weezer's Blue Album. Again, like I said, I grew up in the 90s. That record, I played constantly. I still play constantly. I play it at work. It was this part of the soundtrack of my high school years. I was a geek. I'm still a geek. Most of us who collect records were probably geeks. So, hey, geek rock rocks, right? So, love that record. So, share your favorite VC channel. So, from what I've seen of others' videos, this seems to be kind of a loaded question. So, I'm gonna say, man, there's so many great channels. I can watch YouTube and the VC channels all day. I've watched them falling asleep on my phone, in bed. It's just a great community, and I'm happy to be part of it. I've jumped on more and more live streams. I personally hope to make more videos and put out more content. But, I'm just going to say, I love the VC community as a whole. So, I have some ideas for some new videos and, possibly a couple giveaways. Like I said, I'm going to try and put out some more content. I have a few ideas brewing. So, I hope you subscribe and you like this video and you share it. And, that's it.